Hello, so I made a video and wrote a blog post a couple of weeks ago about how I'd hit a wall in my business. I hadn't done much work this year on my business, and this was a business I actually loved. I absolutely adored it. And about 4 years ago, I slowly, over a period of time, and then all of a sudden, I realized I just really hadn't done any work. I didn't really want to do any work. I'd kind of hit a wall. I didn't want to use the word burnout. I did use the word midlife crisis, although I'm really not sure of what it was, and that's what I was trying to find out. I was sure that I didn't know myself particularly well, so I made a video about it. I was especially anxious about sending an email to my list about it, but I had to do something. And I got a lot of responses, and this is what this video is about. It's about the feedback on my last video, because I wanted to thank people actually. There were a lot of comments, not only on the video on YouTube, but also comments on my blog, and I'll put links in the description to the video I'm talking about and the blog post I'm talking about. I also got a lot of emails. I wanted to make a video to thank people, but also I'm going to read out a few of the comments because a lot of the comments followed the same line, and it was inspiring really, not only because people said some very nice things about me and I realized I'd been missing that sense of purpose, that I was helping people. It's really nice to be able to help people. People were saying that they were going through the same thing as well, and that was really nice as well. I mean, there were comments from men, from women, and it wasn't an age thing because there were comments from people older than me and younger than me. The first point, I'm not going to read people's names out because I haven't asked their permission. The first comment is, I really like this one. Chaos, change and uncertainty are normal and it's okay. And this is a really good point. So what that person is saying is everything is change. There is nothing in the universe that isn't changing. And this is a constant throughout our lives. But there's a funny thing about human beings is that we act all surprised when we first encounter change. We somehow expect things to carry on in the way that they've been going in the past. And we really shouldn't be expecting things not to change. Everything is changed. So there I was saying, oh God, I'm different now. I used to love sitting at a computer working on my business, and now I don't. What's happened? Something's wrong. If you said to me about 5 years ago, what are you doing in 10 years' time? I'd have said, I'll be doing the same thing professionally. And I'd been wrong. Somebody said, we go through maturation phases until we die. And this 50 plus onwards gives us a new phase. And there's another comment saying, I'm a strong believer in there being distinct seasons in life. The transition between one to another is sometimes bumpy though, hey. Absolutely true. So this is the point we're making. Things change. And I had maybe a quarter life crisis at the end of my 20s, beginning of my 30s. I remember that being a very stressful time where I changed, and I came out of it, I think, a better person, although it did take a long period of time before I managed to sort myself out. And I think I was worried as well that it might take a similar amount of time before I sort myself out on this period of change, although I have a lot of hope that it won't. So I'm going to read out the next few quotes, and these are all making a similar point. So this was a lady who I think was working online. I think I could certainly even double my income, but I would just as soon as organise my closet, watch videos on fashion, arrange flowers on my table and take a walk around the lake. That really resonated with me. You know, it's not all about money. I'd quite like to just go for a walk now. Rather than sitting at a computer, and I understand what she's trying to say. Another lady, this is really important, said, something I realised during my burnout, as a lot of people said that they experienced similar things. What I had been forgetting / ignoring is that I have a kinesthetic brain. I need to physically move in order to learn and understand and enjoy things. And that really resonated with me, because having the feeling now that I just really don't want to spend 8 hours a day sitting in front of a computer tapping away. And then another person, this is a man who he's a blogger who I really looked up to in my early days, because he just did everything right, and he'd started before me, and he was really great, and he was also in the design industry, so I really enjoyed his blogs back in the day, and still do, although he does less at the moment. And he asked me these questions in order to get me out of my funk, and he said, what makes you happiest? What gives you the most satisfaction? Not in the past, or not where you think the future might lie, but now, today. Keep doing that until the next step falls into place. So when I replied to him and said, well, I quite enjoy playing guitar and trying to help people in Chiang Mai here. There are places where you can give food and that sort of thing. And these were kinesthetic things. I enjoy playing guitar. Now, believe me, I'm not going to make any money anytime soon with my guitar skills. This was quite an important point as well, about how people want to sort of use their hands. I've stopped reading Kindles as well. I'm spending much more money on paperback books. I mean, I want to read paperback books now. I don't want to read Kindles anymore. And I really loved the process of making Kindles and creating Kindles and selling them on Amazon. But it's just the way it is. I would rather play guitar than work 4 hours in front of a computer tapping away. And that's just the way it is. And this ties into a point that people were making about the pandemic and what's happened. It's caused them to reassess their lives. Somebody said it's time to stop doing what one should do and start looking for one's actual purpose. I don't think this has to be anything grand either. We spend so much time looking to what other people are doing and trying to copy them. And it's easy to forget our own uniqueness. I really loved that. I mentioned Pat Flynn in my last video, who's somebody I looked up to. I mentioned another blogger I used to look up to. There's nothing wrong with that. You see someone where you want to be, you see how they get there, and you try to match some of their skills in order to get where you want to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can take it too far. You can look at their lifestyle and try and be like them, thinking, oh, well, they've got a lot of money, they're rich, they must be happy, I want to be happy, I want their lifestyle. And that's where you probably will run up against problems. So I think that was a really good point that people are making. Because of what's happened, we are discovering that there's more to life than making money. And my business, of course, it was a little bit about making money. Of course, I wanted to make money. I had to make money. We all have to make money. So it's kind of a difficult one. But I do appreciate as well that the side of the business I enjoyed the most was probably helping other people to make money, or just helping other people was something that meant an awful lot more now I look back. I used to get so many nice emails from people saying that I'd helped them. And I remember also other people helped me online when I was starting out. And I probably sent them messages as well, thanking them for it. Because it really was a liberating, amazing thing. And I got a couple of those messages as well, and I'd like to read them out. I don't want to say who they're from. Again, somebody said, I took an idea from you 10 years ago in London about starting a business and doing online, and I became a counsellor. And that guy is a counsellor or therapist now. I'm undergoing therapy. It's a really interesting career. And something I'm quite interested in. I don't think I'd like to be a therapist or a counsellor, but it's a really great job to do, very rewarding, I would have thought. And actually this was from a lady who also said that she never posted on social media, and this was just the one comment she was going to post for a few years. So this really meant a lot. You and your courses have changed my life, and by the extension, that of my family, for the better. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then she goes on to say, I don't use social media at all. I don't have a lot of confidence, and the thought of negative comments or trolling or any sort floors me. This is the first time I've commented in any public forum. I also mentioned in the video how social media to me was just making less and less sense. I had to engage in social media. I still have to in a little way. I mean, this is YouTube, obviously. But I don't really enjoy it. I don't see the point of it. And I see so much negativity coming from it that I question as to whether it really was an invention that made the world a better place at all, or maybe it was something that caused as much damage as it did advantages. I mean, I don't know, but I'm drawing back from social media. The less I do on social media, the happier I am. And I think that lady has obviously come to the same conclusion. Although we have to say, my blog and my business was born in the mid-aughts, 2005, which was a much happier time, which was a time when people really were from all over the world banding together in order to create businesses and make the world a better place. And that was before social media came along and before some of the flame wars and the more negative elements of social media that we all know what we're talking about that have happened today. And, so it's hard to square that circle. We're all living with contradictions, but anyway, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's left a comment. I only read those comments out because they were sort of indicative of other comments. A lot of people made the same points. Everyone said something nice. A lot of people said that they were going through similar things. And it's not about like, I'm in trouble or I'm unhappy or I'm saying something that's like deeply personal. I don't think I am. I'm just saying what's happening in my life, and I'm going to be making more videos about what I'm going to do to make it better or try and make it better. And I'm just doing that to see if it helps anyone. If it does, it would be great. If it doesn't, we're not all the same people, and my problems and my issues are going to be different from yours. If they're similar and you can learn something, then that's great. So I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Rob Cubbon. I'll see you in another video.